Hey, future millionaires, do you know what assets are? Yeah, you guessed it, the things that bring money into your pocket. But what are tangible and intangible assets, and why does everyone keep talking about them and everything you need to know about them? Buckle up and watch the video to excel in personal finance and boost up your understanding of the types of assets you can hold. Let's get started with the main two types or categories assets are divided into. They are intangible and tangible assets. As we know from our previous video, assets are anything that holds real-world value and brings money into your pocket. Therefore, the major two categories of assets will have these two features in common, but they differ in their state. Or in simple words, they are different due to the place they exist in. So what are tangible assets? Tangible assets are assets that exist physically. Or in other words, tangible assets are those assets that can be physically touched and held by us. If anything has a real-world value, adds money to your income, and can be touched and seen, it's called a tangible asset. If you are someone who doesn't believe in virtual things, then tangible assets will be your favorite. The reason is that they are just in front of your eyes and thus you can feel them. This is the same as reading a physical book, holding it in your hand and feeling each word. Even though you can read the book from your smartphone, it will never give you the same satisfaction as the real book does. Tangible assets are the same and can be touched and felt. Who doesn't like to have the crunchy dollar bills in their hands and enjoy that signature smell? So great. But cash is not the only tangible asset that you can own. Assets like property, plant, and equipment are referred to as tangible assets. If you want to be more precise, then tangible assets include land or property, real estate, buildings, anything you want to call it, equipment, machinery, inventory, furniture, and financial securities like stocks, bonds, and cash. You might think that they cannot be touched and they don't physically exist, right? Then how can they be added to tangible assets? Well, the truth is that you can actually touch and hold stocks and bonds in your hands. Every stock you buy and every bond you own have a physical certificate against them, meaning whenever you buy stocks or bonds, a respective certificate is issued, but you don't actually claim it to keep it with you. Don't worry, whether you keep that certificate or not, the stocks and bonds will be yours. Due to the fact that people stop claiming those certificates, the authorities also quit issuing them. But the truth is, stocks and bonds are really tangible assets since they have had certificates that you could keep. And here's a fun fact, you can request a certificate or stock by contacting the clearinghouse. Clearinghouse handles all of your investments, therefore you can get in touch with it to get the certificate. It's a simple but cool idea to get the certificate of the first stock you bought for yourself or your child. You can frame that certificate and hang it on the wall. It's proof that you have that asset and even you can touch it too. Then what are intangible assets? Intangible assets are non-physical assets or assets we cannot physically touch or hold. Even though there is no doubt that we cannot touch intangible assets, they may or may not be seen. Usually intangible assets are, in essence, the rights given by either government or authorities about any certain thing. Thus, rights can neither be touched and physically held nor be seen. Something to note here is that intangible assets are also known as intellectual assets or property. So whenever someone says that they have an intellectual asset, it means that they, no doubt, have an asset, but it does not exist physically. Tangible assets include patents, which are actually the rights provided by authorities to an investor. Trademarks, which are recognizable phrases, logos, or symbols that differentiate a company. Even though they might seem as simple as a logo, they can hold millions of dollars worth from major companies. Franchises, which are a type of license from a big corporation to buy and sell goods under that name. And goodwill, which is the non-physical portion of a company that holds value, like a company's brand, name, or customer service rights. There are also copyrights, which are the rights that protect property from being duplicated by other parties. Here we can find two assets that can be seen and touched too, but are called intangible assets. They are trademarks and franchises. Technically, they are intangible. Let's know why. Trademark is a logo or a slogan that you can see and even hold on your hand if it's on an official document. But strictly speaking, even though they can be seen and touched, they don't hold value. Thus, those documents cannot be declared assets in the first place. Or in simple words, if someone gets that paper that has the logo of a particular company, can he make it his own and use it? Well, the answer is no, since the right has been reserved by the real owner, which is the first company. But what about franchises? Franchises may or may not exist physically, but if they are existing physically, then we need to know why they are intangible assets. As we know that franchises work by taking a license from a big company to function under the name of that big company. Now, imagine what if that big company takes the license back. That franchise will have no identity at all, which means it won't be an asset in the first place. It's a license that is giving it the value of an asset. However, the machines and equipment will no doubt be the tangible asset, but the franchise status will be taken. Apart from the intangible assets explained before, they may also include domain names, computer software, permits, or trade secrets. Neither of them exist physically, but they all do have a value that is important. Something to highlight here is that intangible assets are commonly used by big corporations. However, many small businesses use patents to protect their inventions. Intellectual property helps anyone in the United States and participating countries develop and market an idea without the interference of multi-billion-dollar companies stealing the idea. But if you don't register your trademark or don't get the rights of your business idea, it will probably be stolen. In simple words, your asset will be stolen and you won't be able to prove it's yours since you did not have the proof in the first place. So in conclusion, tangible assets are those assets that can be touched and physically held, while intangible assets are those assets that cannot be touched and cannot be physically held. Which type of assets do you hold the most? Don't be shy to comment right below. Did you know that copyright and trademarks are also assets? Well, now you know everything you need to know about both types of assets. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it to get the weekly dose of personal finance from us. Don't let the chain break and know about these financial concepts to practically be financially independent. Until the next video, stay tuned.